I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need. In the off-white Rari, baby, we run the streets. I'm a K-I-N-G, Westside royalty. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, that's all you need. I'm a K-I-N-G, baby, I'm all you need.
Welcome back, everybody. Here with Stephen Basilio on my podcast, Get It, and my guest is returner Leroy Collins. He did a podcast with me a while ago. You can find on our YouTube channel and Spotify and all those things. And Leroy, to back up, if you had missed the first podcast we did together, Leroy was hit by a car when he was young, a little boy. He was pronounced dead and came back to life. And then he was wheelchair bound, so he would never walk again. And he ended up playing in the NFL. So for people that, if you're just tuning in and that might not seem like that great of a feat, well, first off, backing up, he was dead. Then he was told he would never walk again. And then he played Division I football, which for high school varsity athletes, you have less than a 0.04% chance of playing at the Division I level. And then he went on to play in the NFL. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning than being a professional athlete. He accomplished those things after dying and being told he'd never walk again. So, welcome back, my man. How you doing?
Good. How are you, man? Appreciate. Glad you having me back, man.
That's great having you back. So, you know, I know we were talking earlier, so it's definitely cold out, and I'm adjusting to the cold. For those who don't know, I made a small transition in my life, and now I commute to Orange County from Colorado, the Denver area, and it's been snowing and cold, so that's been fun. And we're still, after all these months, we are now back in the COVID cocks of returning back to lockdowns and everything. So my daughter is no longer in school. Everything's been reshut down for the most part. It's been quite the interesting journey.
It's been interesting to say. It has been a year that none of us would have ever predicted. No. It has been insane, and it seems like every day is something different and it's unpredictable.
Well, it's been a tough year. You know, not even with just the lockdowns, but just 2020 as a whole has been the worst year, I think, for pretty much most people that are alive today. You know, I mean, I know a big part of it is mindset and how you look at things and how you take advantage of stuff. And I mean, it definitely 2020 has been a rocky year for us. I mean, there's been a lot of positives, there's been a lot of negatives, but you know, it is what it is, man. It's been interesting, but yeah, it's been crazy. It's just
like you said, it's mindset, because it's all about, it's not what happened to us, it's how we're going to handle the thing that happened to us. And exactly. I know one of the things that I would never predict it was the March 18th when they actually told us to shut down my speaking platform. It was March 18th, and we had our first show of eight, March 26th. And the 18th, they shut down. And saying, so it was just such a completely difficult year as far as trying to, you know, get all the events that we set up, the flights canceled, the venues that we paid, get their money back. It was so much, man. It was a tough time. And then on top of that, our gym got closed.
Yeah,
so my gym got closed. So my entire empire platform got shut down.
Yeah, well, you know, I know. I lost my gym business. We have our training business still, but I had to close all the gyms, sell everything, shut it down. It's been quite the experience.
Yeah, it has been. So are you guys back on lockdown, you said?
Yeah, it's just been like schools are closed again. Schools are closed again. Like restaurants are now back to like just takeout, like you just, you know, all those things. Like we've reverted back to like basically like late phase 1, early phase 2 type stuff. Yeah, it's been a pain, just an absolute pain.
We're up in New York, so I'm happy we're not there yet. But I hear talks that is getting to be that world again, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, California's getting brutal. Like they've implemented curfews and stay-at-home orders and stuff. So I mean, at least I'm not in that boat. But yeah, it's been tough, man. It's been tough. I mean, for sure. So, yeah. But one of the big things. So you wrote a book, and going back to our first podcast, we talked about your book, which is about your life and the things that you had to come through to get to where you are. And so now you are in the process of a movie script.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
Yeah. So one of my main missions for writing this book was to get the information out. I want to get the information out, get my story out, because I believe that it would help inspire and encourage people. So that was my main mission. I want to get the story out to encourage and inspire people. My second mission was to have this book become a movie. And so when I first launched my book, August 6th of last year, when I launched it, and I didn't know what the response was going to be, because I said, you know what, who's going to read what I wrote? You know what I mean? But once I put it out there, the numbers started going up. People are buying the book. I'm getting comments back. People telling me how inspired they are, how they thank me for taking my time to write the book. Then I've been getting called for speaking engagements. Getting calls from people just asking, like, I'm saying, like, I don't know if I have dreams. Like, I know I want things I want to do, but I don't know if I know how to dream, if I have a dream or what I want to do. So it's just all these things that I predicted and hoped and prayed that would happen, that I could help transition and change someone else's life. You know what I mean? Just from this book and from my words. Right. And saying so, but then my second mission for this book, the running back from the wheelchair to the NFL, was to make it into a movie. So I can, I know the book would go so far to reach a certain crowd of people, a certain number of people, but then a movie would stretch even further across the country, and it would touch people in a different way, because a lot of people don't read. A lot of people don't like to read. And one interesting thing that I like to say about this book is some people told me that there was the only book they ever read from cover to cover. They have not ever read a book and finished it. So my book was the first day they did that. And some say I haven't read a book in 20 years, and yours is the first book I read, and it changed my life. That right there is powerful, and that's what I was expecting and hoping to hear. And so transition back to my second wish was the book become a movie. Right. I started talking to movie producers, sending the book out to people, talking what my ideas and plans were. And then I know where I got this guy. It was strange how this happened, because after I started sending my book out, I started getting requests back from a lot of movie producers. They saying they love the story, they want to do something. And it was always something, a gut in my stomach was telling me, like, hold on, be patient, don't go so fast. So it was always that in the back of my head, like, slow down. And then, so I was always reluctant and I always drawn back to the making the deal happen. And then I had a dream of me walking into the movie theater, sitting down, watching my movie, the opening scene of the running back. You know what I mean? Watching the opening scene, seeing how the whole the first of the movie is being played out. I saw this dream. I'm like, man, that'd be awesome to see that, how my family come watch the movie. Me sitting in the theater watching my movie. And then it was this movie producer, a movie script writer, screenwriter, producer called me, and he said that he read my book and he would like to have a meeting with me. So we met, we sat down and talked, and he started talking to me, and he's talking to me about what he wanted to do. Like, I heard from a lot of other movie producers what they want to do, what their plans were. But then he started telling me about how he see the opening scene and how he saw the movie played out. It was almost identical to the dream I had. Nice. So it's almost like it was God telling me, like, you know what? I want this thing is going to happen for you. And this is a guy I'm choosing for you. This is a guy I'm choosing because I gave him the same vision that I gave you. So it was like, and so from right there, that point on, we started chopping up, started talking, and started doing writing the script out. And we got a script out, and now we're in the process of getting funding and talking to actors and, getting the whole process going.
Too bad you couldn't get Michael B. Jordan to do it. I know he's starting to do movies where he's producing them and directing them and all that stuff. He could play you.
You never know.
Michael B. Jordan be like, bro, you want to play running back? I got a spot for you.
Yeah, yo, they're gonna reach out to everybody that's a big name because they believe, like I believe, that this will be the running back will be the number one movie in the country. They believe, like I believe, number one sports movie in the country. They believe that, and I believe that. So I'm sure they're gonna try to go after the best.
Hold that book up for 3 seconds because every time you hold it up, it takes a second. So hold on. There we go. So the running back, true story from wheelchair to the NFL, Leroy Collins. All right. Perfect. You can put it down.
Yep.
All right. So you got the movie in the works, which is awesome. And I'm super excited to hear how that continues to progress for you. You know, if they need somebody to play a coach, I'm the man. Got that down.
Yeah, you're the guy. You kind of look like my college coach too. I meant to say that.
Oh man,
my college coach that did me wrong.
They don't have to pay me anything. I'll do it for free. So, a couple things. So, I want to talk to you going back to the whole mindset thing because I think it's very important. You know, we've talked about 2020, and I think mindset is one of the most important things, and that's one of the things I love about you. And obviously, our first conversation back, you know, a few months ago, we did talk a little bit about mindset and your mindset to will yourself, to push yourself, where you started walking and you started doing all these things, and then you got yourself to where you were. And, you know, the average person just doesn't understand that because they've never had someone speak to it, and they've never had anybody that's been like, look, you know, mindset accomplishes things, right? And I always tell people it's, you know, the people that are ultra successful, they breathe the same air you breathe. They have to eat. They have to drink water. They exercise. Like they're people. They have the same problems that we have, right? We're all in this bucket. But the people that are the ultra successful, they get sick. They don't feel good. But they just have the mindset to continue to move forward every day and push themselves. And it is a mindset thing. You know, one of the things I tell people too, like, and you're in the gym industry, but in the gym industry, 85% of gyms fail in the first year.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't promising after that. And just in the 6 years that I had my gym business up and running, I mean, every day there was a new gym that came up and there was a new gym that went away. You know, people ask like, well, how are you running your gym business? And I have a basketball club and all these other businesses. And how do you do it? How do you fit it all into a day? How are you continuing to grow? How do your businesses survive when other ones aren't? And I said, it's a mindset. You know, it's about time management. I get up at 4 a.m. and I start my day, and I usually go till 11 at night, 10 at night, 11 at night, sometimes 12 at night. And a big part of it is I'm tired. You know, there are times that I don't want to wake up, but I want to be successful. And so because of that, I'm willing to do the things that nobody else is willing to do. And I even go back further. There was this period where I was renting gym space at this big gym. Well, it wasn't big, it was a smaller gym, but there were a ton of trainers in there. There must have been like 40 or 50 of us. And, you know, they made money by trainers just paying them rent. So they'd have as many trainers as they could. And my business just kept growing and growing and growing and growing like wildfire, to the point where like I had to like start training people outside of that gym too, because I just had too many clients. And I started hiring a couple of coaches to work for me and that kind of stuff. So anyways, I always had trainers that were throwing shade my way and were getting upset about how I was growing and they weren't. And I would even at times, there were different rooms and stuff. And you wouldn't see because there's walls and stuff, but I'd like walk in and sit down and like be texting clients or something. I could hear people on the other side of the wall because the door was open, and there'd be like a group of 5 or 6 trainers all just talking trash about me.
Yeah.
And I would just have the biggest smile on my face because I knew that I was outworking all these guys to the point that they all had to have little clicks to try and make me feel alienated. And it did nothing to me. I could care less.
They try to find their strength in their numbers.
Yeah. And so
not in their progress.
One of my buddies was friends with one of these people and had one of these guys to my house one night. They were all drinking and stuff. And I walked in the door, and the guy that was living with me, who was friends with one of these trainers, was like, "Oh, there's Basita. We were just talking about how you're crushing this guy financially, he got all pissed off and like stormed out of the house. And I was like, okay, cool. So I had somebody that talked to me about that later because they had heard some stuff and like, hey, you know, like you're really creating some negative noise in here. And I said, but that's not my problem. I said, you know, all these people talk about having the same dreams that I have, but they put in a quarter, maybe 50% of the work that I put in. And because of that, none of them are going to be successful. And honestly, I would be surprised if even half of them are training in 2 years because they're not going to be successful. They're not going to make money. I said, you know, while they're sleeping in from partying the night before, doing whatever they want to do, I get up at 4 a.m. I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. training clients. And I train from 5 to noon. Then I take a break from 12 to 1 to eat lunch and respond to clients and stuff. And then I work from 1 to 9 at night, sometimes 10 at night. And I was like, ain't nobody putting in that work, man. I open the gym and I close the gym. It's not even my gym. And I said, you know, when trainers don't show up to train their clients day after day, guess who they come and ask for exercises to get them started? Me. Right. When they leave that trainer, guess who they come train with? Me. Yeah. I'm training so many people. Half these trainers take all their clients and combine them, and I'm training more than all those trainers combined because I put in the work, the time. They're out going and playing guitar on the beach or going and hanging out and having these long lunches with friends. Like they want to live their lives however they want to live them good. I'm gonna work and you're gonna make money. You're gonna build a legacy. You're gonna build a brand. You're gonna do really well at it because you're gonna take your time and your passion and make it better. And it's not even about smarts. It's about mindset and work ethic, right? Like yes, you do need to have a base of intelligence for what you're doing. But I tell people like I don't care if you're got your doctorate in exercise science and I got my bachelor's, I'm going to beat you because I'm just going to outwork you. And I know I will, because again, it's a mindset. And so going into the everyday person's life, mindset being so important, you know, you were a professional athlete. And again, you've come through a very tumultuous history where you are. So let's talk about that mindset for a minute here, because again, you know, we're both in the business of trying to improve people's lives and make a positive impact in the world. And you can speak volumes to that because of what you've been through. So what would you say to the average person who doesn't know much about mindset and is maybe not excited where they're at in life, especially with this year the way it is, a lot of people losing jobs and stuff, like speak to mindset. Yeah. So the first thing I would ask a person, like what the person, like say for jobs, a person losing the job, like you might lose your job. The thing is that you should always do something that you love. First of all, you should always do something that you love. And people say, well, what I love to do don't make money. Okay. What you love to do probably might not make money. Okay. How can you make that you love make money? Because everything can make money if you do it right. So a person that's really upset, person that's really down and stuff, first thing I would tell them to find out, what they love. Why are they upset? What is upsetting them? And find the resources. There's resources out there. There's people out there to help turn those things around. To help, like podcasts like this. You can talk into those things. For instance, like I told you earlier, that I lost my speaking platform, I lost my school platform, and I lost my gym all in one day. One day, what I created for 5 years shut down in one day. And so I'm always talking to people about motivating themselves, reinvent yourself, find other things that you're good at. Do things that make you happy. Take time into what you have passion about. Put time into it. And so it's almost like God said, "Okay, you've been motivating people. Now it's time for you to start motivating yourself, because everything that you have now I've got taken. My bills didn't stop. My car still got to run. I still got to do these different things, but everything that I built and earned money had to stop. So now I had to think in my head, do I give up? Do I quit? The one thing about us as people, we all get rained on, regardless of what it is in life. But there's some of us that's going to stay inside and wait for the rain to stop, or we're going to grab an umbrella and we're going to go out into the rain and conquer what it is that we want to conquer. So I try to advise people, don't stay inside and wait for the rain to stop, because the things that you want, you got to get wet a little bit to go out to get what you want. Yeah. You got to take that step forward. You're going to fall. So one thing I have here, I have this
this logo right here. I don't know if you see it. Do you see the arrow?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is my logo. It's a broken arrow. So basically, it's an arrow of progression, an arrow of life, an arrow of success and passion. Because whenever you have a goal and dream at something, if you have the knowledge and understand that and know that once you have a goal and a dream and you go on that journey to reach whatever it is that you want, it's designed to have a bunch of no's in it, a bunch of no, a bunch of no. It's going to have a bunch of letdowns, a bunch of disappointment, a bunch of failure, a bunch of discouragement, a bunch of loneliness. All right. So on that journey, if you understand that when you go do something, you want something that is designed to have heartache, letdown, and a bunch of no's, but on that journey is a yes. But it depends on how long you stay on that path. You have to be focused on that path. It's going to be tough. You got to be able to survive. You got to know how to survive, and you got to know how to keep going, and you got to know how not to quit. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say a lot of people don't have that. We do have it, but the thing is that we have to let people know that they have it. So that's why my book, my speaking platform, to tell people the power they have inside. See, God put me on this earth for one reason, I believe. Well, more than one reason, but the reason I know he put me on this earth for is to say, listen, I'm going to make you a fisherman. You know what I mean? For men. I want you to go out there and fish, encourage the heart, encourage the mind. Tell people there's a guy that read my book, The Running Back. All right. His mother got him the book because she was discouraged. He read the book. He contacted me and told me he was going to kill himself. He read my book and he's changed his life, and now his life has changed. So that's the stuff that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? Even if it was for that guy, it was something that it changed. So my mission is mainly to tell people to never quit, never give up. Understand that in the path of once you go on a journey on that path, there is a bunch of disappointment. Not having knowledge of knowing that disappointment is present. Knowing that the disappointment is present, you have a better chance of succeeding, because the fact is that you're not entered to the world of unknowing. You enter the world of understand that something's going to happen, but I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to quit.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing, that people need to understand is the no thing. You're always going to hear no's, but there will be yeses. You just have to be persistent. And then what you just said now, and I would say that, two of the most important pieces of advice you can take. So many people are afraid to hear no. Those are some of the most miserable people.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be successful if you're afraid to hear the word no. And I know, because I've heard no for 15 years, yet I still continue to have one of the best basketball organizations, phenomenal club. I still, all these things that I've accomplished in my life. And you're going to hear no. That's part of it, man. There's going to be no's. Even the best people in the world still hear no for things. That doesn't change them from still pursuing what they want to pursue and getting after it, But again, that mindset is just so important. And that, ability to just rise above the challenge that you're going to have in front of you. But I do agree with you that if you have a love for something and a passion for something, you can figure out how to make money with it. It just takes some time, energy, and effort. But yeah, man, it's been a blessing to have you. Thank you so much. And again, give everybody your Instagram so they can follow you.
Yeah, so it's Leroy Collins. You can follow me on Instagram, Leroy Collins 23. On Facebook, Leroy Collins on Facebook. You can check my website out. I have a bunch of dream. I have dream apparel. So I have a bunch of
Nice.
T-shirts and hoodies and sweatpants and hats and stuff. Just to basically have people focus on their dream. Focus on.
How can people buy your book, by the way?
Say again.
How can people buy your book?
Yeah, so you can go to my website is www.dc3dream.com, or you go Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And you can also find my apparel, my merch on dc3dream.com. And that's another way you can get to some book. You get some gear, get some hats, get whatever clothing you want. And anytime anything come about, any booking, they want to book in motivational sessions as far as any kind of events, anything I could do virtually. I can do, if we have a place that's open, I can do it. I can travel. So, you know what I mean? I have this array of opportunities that, you know what I mean, we can get the story out. I know once the movie come out, I'll be doing a lot of traveling. So anybody out there want to get in there first, man, just give me a shout, and I'll be happy to work something out.
Awesome. Well, thank you, brother. Really appreciate having you. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in today. This is Steven Basita on my podcast, Get It? Social Network, and looking forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Thank you, sir.